The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL whose the biggest personality is the owner. And that, I think, is the problem.
Yeah.
We have the expectations for the Chiefs. You put them at number 1 before this week.
Yeah.
You know who also had expectations?
Who?
The Dallas
Your
Cowboys.
boys.
Yeah, they
Your
did.
own team.
American
what
team.
happened? What happened?
The problem with the Cowboys wasn't in this game. It was the whole offseason. It's how they prepare their team to be successful come September. Every single offseason, it's these guys want to come to Dallas, and Dallas says, nah, like we're going to build in-house. We're going to draft. And they do a great job drafting, but you can't be a one-trick pony in the NFL. You look at the great teams in the NFL, they all sign players. The Patriots have always
Look how the
acquired
Rams
players
won the Super
outside.
Bowl.
The Rams acquire players from the outside. The Steelers acquire players from the outside. Like, teams that have success are always going to have these free agent guys that have success elsewhere, bring them in to add to the culture. The Cowboys don't do that. And where they failed, where we saw clearly ineptitude, receiver, very weak at receiver, outside of CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if he's even a wide receiver.
CeeDee Lamb might not be a number one wide receiver right now, but outside of CeeDee Lamb, you have 4 Walmart employees. Bro, the number 2 receiver that was targeted in the game on Sunday didn't even have an ESPN fantasy profile, bro.
They went up to Walmart
I
and said,
couldn't
"Yo,
have started him if I wanted to, brother.
Yo, who's got any? They walked up to Walmart. Yo, anyone know how to play football? Anyone know how to catch anything?
and that's at
They should
receiver.
be going back to high schools in middle of
The
Texas.
Dallas
trying to see
Cowboys
some
are the
boys
only
play.
team in the NFL that didn't score a touchdown
That
this
didn't score a
weekend.
touchdown.
Didn't. And they didn't even get inside the 30.
The offensive line isn't there. The defense,
You know what?
I guess, been not break, but you just don't have the depth to be successful.
You know what this comes down to? I think it all boils down to this, is that the Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is in charge.
That's a fact, and I believe
He's
in that.
And Mike
horrific
McCarthy.
at getting a team together. And Mike McCarthy, first, I don't know why
The
they
Dallas
hired him.
Cowboys are
Like,
a business to Jerry Jones, and that's all it is. And it's sad for Cowboys fans everywhere at the same time.
honestly, the NFL is better when I hate the Cowboys, but the NFL is better when the Cowboys are good and competitive.
Dak Prescott, if he's out through the bye, at that point, Mike McCarthy will have coached 41 games
Yeah, I saw
for
that.
the Dallas Cowboys. Dak would have missed 19 out of the 41. That's just about, what, 50%?
Yeah.
I mean, does Mike McCarthy deserve to have a shorter leash, or should he have a longer leash in this situation?
think
For me personally, I think the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy's never been it as a head coach. I don't care what happened in Green Bay.
He got carried by Aaron Rodgers.
Always. And for me
100%.
personally, the way I see the Dallas Cowboys is you didn't have to get rid of Amari Cooper. You didn't have to cut Lyle Collins. So what was the point of that?
That's what I'm
Your
saying.
team got worse. You didn't add anyone.
And then if you lose those guys, replace them. We see the other teams that I've mentioned who are great at acquiring players and building Super Bowl teams replace guys that they lose. And the Cowboys didn't do that. And the one thing I will say about who is to blame, if we want to blame Mike McCarthy, if we want to blame whoever, we've always had one
blame
person to
Jerry
blame,
Jones.
right? You blame Tony Romo through I saw a tweet yesterday. You blame Tony Romo from 06 to 2014. You blame Dak. Between that, you blame Jason Garrett from this to that. Mike McCarthy. The whole time, the front office is the same front office.
Yeah.
So there's only one. There's
only
only
one
one
guy to blame.
group we can really blame.
I actually feel for you.
It's
like I got nothing
weirdly
wrong.
enough.
Yeah, like you make such a compelling
It's
point
t-
that for
it's
me,
tough
like
being a
I see your
Cowboys fan.
passion. I
Is
see
it-
the sweat coming off your nose a little bit. I feel for you, man.
It might not be crazy to say that the Cowboys are the most disappointing team in all of sports.
I think I don't think it's a crazy take. I think it's true. But the Cowboys have expectations every single year. They have the talent. Last year they had the number 1 offense in the NFL. And like you said, the only team in week 1 to not score a touchdown. How do you go from that to that?
But it's,
unbelievable.
I'll
the
tell
thing
you-
is, when you make these changes in the offseason and they're negative changes to the offense, you shouldn't be that shocked when you don't perform that
wanna
well.
know
That's the
also-
thing. It's just like you always build Cowboys up like this, build them like that, and they just the fact of the matter is they're just not that good. Maybe.
The other
Like,
issue I have with this entire thing, which I think is organizational negligence, is keeping Cooper Rush as your backup. Dak Prescott, yes,
Horrible.
he may not have an injury history, but right now seems to be injury prone, right? And yes, it's a fluke injury that happened to his finger.
he'll miss a couple games every year. it
But
seems
now you
like.
have Jerry Jones saying he might be, they're not going to put him on IR because he may come back before 4 games. We saw what happened to Russell Wilson when you rushed him back after a finger injury. The Dallas Cowboys do not have a team around Dak Prescott right now to even contend, let alone be
not close.
second in the NFC East with the way things look right now. So what is the move going forward? The Dallas Cowboys, you said it, right, had the most Sunday Night Football appearances coming into the season. They're probably going to be the most flex team.
Yeah, they're gonna flex the
leaving
hell
week
out of the
1.
Cowboys. Yeah,
Nobody
it's
wants
not-
to see the Dallas Cowboys, even if Dak
No, I
Prescott's
don't want to
healthy.
see the Dallas Cowboys. If I wasn't a Cowboy fan, I would have fallen asleep on Sunday night.
God, you
That
got
game
me-
was horrible.
It was hard to watch. It
That
was
game was
very
horrible.
boring. Yeah.
You made Tom's divorce potential look
dude, they didn't
like
even
this man
make
was a star.
They didn't
still.
even make it past the 30-yard line. Is it crazy to say that they might finish last in the division this year?
They'll be fighting with the Giants. They could be fighting with the Giants for last.
Because I think the Commanders are proven already
I
that
think
they're a better
Commanders
team.
could win the
So
division.
you're saying the Dallas Cowboys are going to come in last in the NFC East?
I'm not saying they're going to come in last. The Giants are trash, bro. But like, I think without Dak Prescott for that long, I wouldn't be shocked.
Also, I got one last question.
The Giants are much improved.
Like, I get the business side of sports, but is it fair to say, based off the last 10 to 15 years of the Dallas Cowboys, is it fair to say that Jerry Jones might be the worst owner in the NFL for failing to A, bring in a real GM and make the decisions, and B, surrounding the talent that they've had? Because they've had a ton of talent, and now you have yet to see the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding, as Adam loves to say.
It got in my head. I was going to say it.
What's the pudding for an NFL owner, right?
A Super Bowl.
Yes, but at the same time, you want it to be a strong business. And the Cowboys are the strongest business in terms of sports franchises in the world. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, what are you putting within your team, your organization, the GM, the personnel that are going to help you win games? And he's terrible at that, as we've seen.
Yeah,
he doesn't want the coach to outshine himself. And here's
That's
the thing.
the problem.
He's got the biggest,
it's an ego.
He's got the biggest head in sports.
He's got the biggest head in sports. And the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL whose the biggest personality is the owner. And that, I think, is the problem.
Yeah.
See,
That's a good way to wrap it up right there. I like that.
Can I dap you? Can I?
Yeah, move a little bit. The mic's kind of in the way.
That was well said, man. I'm happy for you.
Are you as disappointed in the Cowboys as I am? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. And if you need betting insights, go to TheGameDay.com and you'll make money.